Breaking update. Her Royal Highness Princess Leonor secretly meets celebrity prince. A glittering palace. Cameras flashing. Everyone expecting a routine royal appearance. But then, a name no one predicted. A meeting no one imagined. What was whispered behind closed doors changes everything you thought you knew about Princess Leonor. Tonight we take you deep inside one of the most guarded moments in recent royal history. A quiet, almost invisible meeting between Her Royal Highness Princess Leonor of Spain and a young man many call the celebrity prince. At first glance it looked like a simple evening function, a diplomatic courtesy. Yet beneath the velvet drapes and polished marble, something far more personal was unfolding. The moment began in Madrid. Princess Leonor had just concluded a day of official duties at the Zarzuela Palace, surrounded by advisors, security, and the ever-present press corps. Outwardly, nothing unusual, a poised heir to the throne fulfilling her obligations. But our sources reveal that this was the first step in a meticulously planned encounter, one designed to remain away from the public eye. Why the secrecy? Why this figure, already famous in his own right? That is where our story begins to open up. Over the next hour we will trace how an unexpected friendship, perhaps more than friendship, grew between two houses separated by borders but united by fame, duty, and the intense scrutiny of a watching world. In the days leading up to the meeting, rumors swirled in both Spain and Denmark. Social media buzzed with sightings of luxury cars and private jets. Was Leonor traveling under an assumed name? Was he in Madrid on private business? These questions kept journalists awake, and yet no photographs surfaced. The palace remained silent. The young man's team refused to comment. The curiosity loop tightened. When the night arrived, the location was not a grand banquet hall but a private salon known only to senior staff. Heavy curtains muffled sound. Security guards kept their distance. And in that intimate space, Her Royal Highness greeted him with the warm smile of someone who already knew him. Their conversation, though muted to outsiders, carried the cadence of shared confidences. Witnesses recall soft laughter, the kind that escapes when formality drops away. This is not the first time a royal heir has been linked with a figure from outside the traditional aristocracy. History offers echoes: secret dinners, clandestine correspondence, alliances that challenge expectations. Yet each time, the tension between duty and desire creates a story more compelling than fiction. Leonor's generation lives under even brighter lights, where every gesture is captured, every glance dissected. As the evening progressed, subtle signs emerged. He presented her with a small, unmarked envelope, perhaps a letter, perhaps an invitation. She listened intently, nodding, occasionally glancing toward the door as if aware of the thin line between privacy and exposure. No words from that exchange have been confirmed, but palace staff later described Leonor as radiant and unusually contemplative the following morning. Why does this matter? Because the choices made in private rooms can ripple across nations. If Leonor is indeed exploring a bond with someone who blends celebrity with royal lineage, it could signal a shift in how Spain's future queen will navigate public life. Will she rewrite the script of royal partnership, or is this simply a fleeting moment of youth before the weight of the crown asserts itself? Over the next chapters of this story, we'll follow the clues left behind. The travel logs. The social events where both appeared separately but within minutes of one another. The subtle language of body. Posture, the small tokens exchanged at official functions. Each element builds a picture not of scandal but of two young people testing the boundaries of tradition and freedom. As you listen, imagine the stakes: a princess raised from birth to represent continuity and stability, and a young man raised in the glare of global celebrity, fluent in modern media, yet tethered to his own family's expectations. Together they form a mirror of Europe's evolving monarchies, at once ancient and modern, private and public, ceremonial and personal. Now consider the reaction within the palace walls. Advisors torn between protecting the heir's privacy and preparing for the possibility of a public announcement. Families weighing the optics of a union that crosses not just borders but cultures of fame. Friends caught between loyalty and the lure of a breaking headline. Each answer leads to another question. Was this meeting a first step toward an official courtship, or simply an exploratory conversation? Did they speak of shared causes, of charitable projects, of personal dreams? Did they confide fears about living under constant scrutiny? The truth may emerge only in fragments, a subtle exchange at a gala, a mutual appearance at a distant event, a slip of a comment in an interview. What is clear is that something real occurred on that quiet night, a connection strong enough to risk secrecy. A moment when two lives, both scripted by duty, briefly wrote their own lines. That is the heart of this breaking update. As we move deeper into this special report, we'll revisit Leonor's upbringing, her education at UWC Atlantic, her public milestones. We'll also trace the young man's rise to fame, his philanthropic projects, his carefully cultivated image. By understanding the forces shaping each of them, we begin to see why a secret meeting was not just possible but perhaps inevitable. We'll also examine the broader implications, how European royals of Leonor's generation are redefining what it means to be royal, how celebrity culture intersects with monarchy in the 21st century, how public expectation can both pressure and protect. These layers turn a single night into a window on a larger transformation. And finally, we'll circle back to the central mystery. Did the meeting end with a promise to meet again? With an agreement to remain silent? With nothing more than polite farewells? Those who were present are not speaking, yet. But as history shows, private truths eventually surface. When they do, they often surprise even those closest to the throne. Until then, this is the story as we can tell it, a princess stepping briefly out of the rigid frame of protocol, a celebrity prince stepping into a world older and more ritualized than his own, and a quiet meeting that may mark the beginning of a new chapter, or the most tantalizing footnote in modern royal history.